Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on the time. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Olympus camera. This one, I'm gonna show you this, and I hope you can see it good. Uh, it has the name badge down here, and typically as soon as I get my head out of the picture, it should focus on this better, because the camera is set to detect my face, I guess, my head. But anyway, this Olympus camera, it's the X, and it has a lens attached. It's a 400 well, it's 100 to 400 millimeter. It's not that fast. It's 6.3 at fully extended. This is the reversible lens hood that I'm gonna put on correctly so you see that. It has a wonderful zoom action. Well, wonderful is maybe a little bit exaggerated. It's very nice, very smooth and continuous. It has stabilization in the lens, and it works in conjunction with the body. So the body does roll like this, and all the rest is done in the lens, I've been told. This X camera from Olympus, I had for a good long while the Mark III, the OMD, well, for a little while. And this one is basically the same. Was for me was the well, there's other slight differences, but the main difference is this has a bird detection now. It finds the eye of the bird, like other cameras find as a standard these days the eye of the human. And there's many critical views out and reviewers and all that, and that will tell you this and that, and it's not untrue what they say, but I find it quite great. It's under certain conditions really doing well. I blend maybe a couple of pictures in this video that I took with this. It finds the bird fairly easy, or very easy actually, and then it focuses on it. And there is what most people call keepers. So if you take 100 pictures, you know, if you have half of them usable or keepers, it'd be good. This is not any different. Not every single picture is a keeper you take with it, but a lot of them are. And when you don't use that bird eye detection function, then it's the same thing. You have a lot of keepers, and not everything is a keeper. But the main thing is it simplifies or automates that bird finding. It goes also very quick. Sometimes shots get away from me because I'm just not quick enough, but this one is very quick, and it finds I had the other day a swallow. It landed for a second, and I was able to acquire it in my viewfinder, which is really nice and large in this camera, much larger than in the Mark III. And I push the button half down, and boom boom, it has it, and I go trrrt, and a few turn out. I normally not even that quick to find the bird, so I get some shots that I wouldn't normally get, and it is just like in a Swiss Army knife, an extra tool that you have, your in your Swiss Army knife, you have your scissors and your toothpick. Well, my wife's one was a toothpick. My wife's Swiss Army knife, and so you have your different tools there. So this is one more tool that's useful for me. In the OMD Mark III, there is, for example, the sky autofocus, and I did this a couple of times, and this is it's more novel for me. A bird finding thing is much more well, it applies much more to to what I like to do. So not so novel. And my other camera is an animal eye in the Nikon, for example, and I shot a couple pictures of my dogs, and then it's over. With the birds, I'm just more steady and steadily interested, that is, and so that feature really pays well for me, so to speak. And yes, I'm a hobby photographer. I have sold a few. Well, I guess that makes me a pro. I have now and then got some pictures sold, and I do product shots. Not with this. I use, well, I can use this too, but I use all kinds of cameras for that. And product shots, I'm constantly involved in commercialism with that. But this one is mainly for my hobby. And as you can see, it's a light setup. It's about 2 kilograms. See, I'm not the strongest man in the world. You can easily hold it and support it like this. It's a very lightweight setup. Of course, it's not as lightweight as a point-and-shoot camera that's also pocketable. But for what you're looking at, it's a very lightweight setup, hard to beat. You could put a even lighter camera on it, the Mark III, but then you don't have the big large viewfinder, neither the bird eye detection. You can get away without it easily, but you can get away without a lot of stuff easily. What you really need is food, shelter, and water, right? And a little bit of clothing in the colder climates more. But it's not about what you need. It's probably about what you want. And you can want this from Canon for a total of $6,000 with a lens or more, or here was for about 3,000 with a lens. And that's the difference. And if the picture quality is very, very lovely, and if it's enough for you, and then this is it's a great setup. It's light. It's very well thought out, and it's not a beginner setup. These Olympus cameras are so deep that it's better for enthusiasts, hobby enthusiasts. I wanted to show this and reconfirm that that bird eye detection really works lovely. Birds in flight, birds that are nicely perched. If a bird is really, hidden down there in the, I'll put this down now, in the bushes, sometimes I gotta show you this again. There's a little switch here. I programmed that to switch from bird eye finder to my single point, and if I need to get quickly through the little tweaks onto the birds, then I have back button focus, and I flip my switch here and get that, and then I often switch right way back to bird eye finder, because it's hard to go back to without it. Well, it's not hard, but it's something I really like. It's an addition, and it works really well for most things. I'm sure that I'm not sure of that, but I may speculate that they improve this in the future, even if not, it's fine as it is. And if you wanted let me say that again, lighten this. It has two batteries here in the grip. It works also with one battery. I mean, you save a little bit of weight. Most wouldn't care for it. I'm also not a tremendous huge hiker, so often I drive into a parking lot and I walk for 10 to the spot, and so I'm not carrying this around all day. But even if you would have to put this in a backpack, it's probably not too big of a deal. But I'm still a convenient photographer. I shoot on the balcony in my house. I live very rural, and drive somewhere in a nice parking lot or a vista area, and I don't carry it for an extended period of time. Sometimes I shoot for an hour or half an hour on my deck, and it's no problem. I often go like this, and I took that L bracket that's on the lens off because it's nicer for me to handle that way. And when I don't need it, I'll hold it like this often. So you can have it in your hands a long time. The buttons and all the functions on these Olympus cameras are so well manufactured. The hardware is highest standard, and it has a little bit more, I hope you see this, real estate on the camera. So you have instead of double function buttons, you get separate buttons for something. Well, anyway, it's a lovely camera. It's a lovely lens, and despite the fact that it has changed ownership recently, it looks like they're doing just fine. Maybe one of those days, this one is written Olympus, they may want to change this. I find it kind of silly to change it to OMD. It's because Olympus is such a traditional name, and of course I wouldn't do a lot of things, but I certainly wouldn't get rid of the name Olympus if I would be the owner of a company like that. But who cares what I want? It's a lovely camera, it's a lovely system, and it works really well. I put some pictures in it that I found, that I took with the camera, and maybe you like to hit like and subscribe. That's what most people ask for, so I do too. It grows the individual's efforts on YouTube, and I don't know what else to tell you about the camera. I really like it. I like the OMD Mark III II. It's a little lighter. These Olympus camera, they handle so fantastic, and this one has especially nice large viewfinders, and I like a viewfinder, and I like that a lot, because it's large, and it's nice to operate. Some people say it could be sharp. Well, could be sharper. Things could be, should be. Yeah, why not? And this and that. But it is what it is, and it's really lovely for that. They recently slashed the price tremendously. You can get this for now about $1,700 instead of for $3,000. I'm not sure if it's still on this morning. At the making of this video, it still was at about $1,700. I got it at one of the large US retailer. I don't want to make commercials for them. You know where to buy. So it's Olympus's weatherproofing is legendary, and that is on this camera even more than everything. There's plenty of other professionals who use it, and rightfully so. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I can only recommend the camera, and the bird eye detection works really well for me. Like everything, in certain situations really good, and in others you don't use it. You switch over to a different a focal style that is in the camera quickly accessible. So that's how that works. I talk to you later. Bye bye.